Hello everybody and welcome back to A Couple Books. This is Couple as per usual. The other day I posted my top 10 books of 2021 because the year ended, and so I did that. But now we have to do another top 5 video this time, and that's going to be my top 5 LitRPG picks, literature role-playing game books. This is one of my favorite genres that I read, and I post quite a bit on this channel, and you guys do seem to like it, and you guys really liked last year when I posted my top 5 LitRPG books, so I'm doing it again this year. So this is going to be 5 LitRPG books that I read in the year 2021. Does not mean that it needs to be published in the year 2021. As well, there's going to be a repeat for my top 10 list, unsurprisingly, since this is my top 5. But we're going to have 5 books today, so I'm excited. You're excited, I hope, at least. Like, maybe I'm the only one excited, in which case that's very upsetting for me. Let us just get started, okay? So the first book we're going to be talking about today is Steam Whistle Alley by Joshua Mason. This is a very interesting and different LitRPG book. For those who are unaware, most LitRPG books that I have read usually take place in a video game. This is why I was enticed to this one by Joshua Mason, because it does not take place in a video game. This is a LitRPG book that takes place in Seattle, Washington. I believe it's Seattle, Washington. And it follows a game tester as he's recruited by a gaming company to come test out their new game, which happens to be a augmented reality game, meaning you put on these goggles and everything you see in front of you changes. Ooh. Our main character's crush and him end up playing this game together as they basically take on the challenges of the game and they try and play through, with the end result being that whoever wins the slight tiny contest that they're having in the game to kick it off wins a portion of ownership of this game's main merchandise channel. Like, it's basically a farmer's market of goods and services that are provided in the game world, and you can become part owner, meaning you can make buku bucks. And so all these game testers that were brought on for the initial launch of this game are all playing, trying to win this ownership deal, and our main character is going to be one of those guys. Overall, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the different method of approaching a LitRPG. Instead of being in a video game, you're experiencing the game in a completely different format and a completely different environment, and it had very interesting characters and a very fun plot. This one I've already discussed. I discussed in my top 10 video, but it's going to be The Crafting of Chess by Kit Falbo. This is about a boy named Nate who's a really excellent chess player, and when a new VR MMORPG launches, he decides he's going to get in on the action because he sees a way for him to make buku bucks off of it. I mean, he's basically found a way that using the game mechanics, he can end up making real world currency at a pretty much an unprecedented rate. So he ends up going into the game and basically starts a crafting business where he's going to be crafting armor and swords and the like, and he's going to use this high level skill he's going to attain to basically make real world money. But that's not the only thing that's going on in the story. It's also a really great LitRPG because there's a lot of strategy and thinking taking place in this book. Characters using his full brain capacity in this one, and that's I always like when I have a smart main character to follow, and that's definitely the case with Nate in The Crafting of Chess. This one is a very unique one because unlike, you know, the fighting, the battles, and all that stuff, this one is very much focused on crafting and making and maxing out like your skills and that kind of stuff within that specific area. So it was a really fun read as well. Next we have Threadbare by Andrew Sapel. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but just so you know, that's how you spell it. So Threadbare, as you can tell by the cover, is a super adorable, cute book. This is volume 1 of 3, or I think there's 4 out now. Stuff and Nonsense. And basically we meet Threadbare. Threadbare is basically a little tiny stuffed teddy bear who is animated by an animator. And he has now gained magical sentience. Like, he can think and he can walk and he can do everything that a normal sentient thing could do. He proceeds to go on a magical journey. And while this book has nothing super amazing about it in terms of its world, where this book excels over others is its humor and how Andrew Sapel is able to integrate really fun hilarious moments into a story and a plot, and while still keep moving it forward. The plot continues to move forward, but our little teddy bear continues to be adorable on his little adventure. And you might be like, oh, teddy bear, this is probably like a kid's book. No, it's not, okay? It's very violent, but it's very fun. So if you're looking for something a little more humorous in LitRPG, I definitely recommend picking up Threadbare. Second to last, fourth book in the list is going to be World Tree Online by E.A. Hooper. This is like your more generic lit RPG story, but basically we follow Vincent, and Vincent is basically been enticed by his friend to join a new super-powered AI system-based virtual reality. And this is called World Tree. What's really unique about this world, unlike other virtual reality games, is that there's a time dilation effect in effect. So when you're in the game for 1 minute, it feels like a day in the game. Or when you're in the game for 10 minutes, it feels like you're in the game for like a year. Or something along those lines. I don't remember the exact ratio that there is. Needless to say, the point of the time dilation is that basically you could, like, on your lunch break, throw on your goggles, go into the game world, and spend like a month vacationing, you know, while you're just sitting for an hour in real time at lunch. And so it's got that very unique mechanic. And basically what happens is Vincent enjoys this game, and he decides he's going to level up and, you know, do the standard things you have to do in a video game. But what happens is that there's now a game update taking place, and this game update has affected the time dilation to the 100th degree. The update's only going to take 30 minutes in real time, but that's going to be hundreds of years for them in the game world, and there's no way to log out because of it. Very interesting premise about being stuck in a game world for hundreds of years. I like the logic of it. If it's only a 30-minute update, people in the real world are not going to even probably become aware of the problem until hundreds of years have already passed for the people in game. So it really gives you a unique dilemma, and the character's approach to it is really fun. In the first book, we encounter a bad guy who is a mod. He's a moderator. He's someone who goes out there and makes sure that people aren't abusing the game or anything like that. After becoming the only moderator who still has their modding powers, during the update, he ends up using these powers for evil, and he ends up using it for his own selfish whims and wants and desires. And he's a pretty nasty bad guy, and he's really, really screwed up. Like, oh my, he needs therapy. We all need therapy, but he really does need therapy. And so we follow Vincent as he gets a crew together, and they take on the World Tree, traveling up into different worlds and seeing different lands and attacking different monsters, while there's this looming threat of this moderator who's hanging over their heads. So, really enjoyable. And then my fifth and last book, I don't have a physical copy yet with me. It's going to be A Battle Mage Reborn, A Broken Blade by R. Brady Frost. This is the second book in his series, and this is a really fun one. I'm going to do a full review on it in my next video most likely, or the video after that, but I want to let you guys know about it now because I really enjoyed it. We follow our main character, whose name is Denton Wade, who, after dying in the first book, he is basically sent to this afterlife virtual reality simulation where his consciousness has been uploaded to experience this fantastical world with all the fantasy elements, and he's dead in real life. So there's no like returning to real life. This is his life now, and he has to take it on and realize what's going on. He didn't really want to be here initially, and during the first book we saw him struggle with that as he went on and made new friends and completed his mission in the first book. In the second book, we pick up right where we last left off with Denton Wade, with him being injured, and now he's looking for a remedy, and that means going to these really frosty mountains and collecting these really pristine, fragile leaves or plants in order to create a potion that's going to heal him. Unfortunately, it's not going to be as easy as it seems because it's going to get real nasty real fast. I initially was pretty concerned about it because I was worried that was going to be just like a retrieval kind of mission that you see in video games often enough, but it's not. We end up seeing that there's a much more dangerous looming threat that is taking place in the mountains where he's looking for these pristine plants, and this threat is going to require Denton and his friends to get together and deal with it immediately. And I just really enjoyed it because I've not yet read any lit RPG books that deal with you being in a game post-death, and so it's just really fun having these game mechanics be very, very important and being very final. There's no game reset. There's no getting out of it. This is like the real world for them now, and the costs are substantial, and you're really seeing the weight of that on everyone's shoulders. And it's not just a game for them. This is their afterlife. This is them dealing with what they went through in their time alive, and you really see those pressures coming out in their characters. And overall, it's a really emotional and fulfilling story because of that. And I cannot recommend it highly enough for those who are just really into big, large gaming, virtual reality, fantasy worlds, and are looking for something that has like a little more weight behind the characters' decisions than just a normal everyday video game. Those are my top 5 books. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I'll be seeing you guys in my next video, which should be top 10 anticipated reads of 2022. So see you guys then. Bye now.